Welcome, welcome, welcome to Empowered Women in Business International Radio. I'm your host, none other than Nicole Mosby Taylor, and you are in for a treat. We have a phenomenal guest in our studio, but you know we have to take care of business first. So the first line of business is, let's say our quote today. So our quote is actually a Bible verse, and I chose this Bible verse because this is my favorite Bible verse and Melissa's. So it is I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. It doesn't matter what it is, how big, how small, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. How many of you guys love that Bible verse? I know it's one of my favorites. So, I just want to tell you first a little bit about Empowered Women in Business International. Empowered Women in Business International, we serve a sisterhood of women entrepreneurs who understand that individually you can do great things, but collectively we can forever change the world. Members of our movement experience a support system that allows them to celebrate their wins and share their struggles in a series of opportunities that enhance them personally and professionally. If that sounds like an organization that you would like to be a part of, visit our website at www.ewbiradio.org. The organization is phenomenal. We just awarded in March our first micro grant of $500 to Janine Faulkner of Grateful Life Creations. And Grateful Life Creations is an amazing organization that sells pillows. They have Bible verses, affirmations, but they're pillows, blankets, tote bags, anything to uplift the community. Check out Grateful Life Creation. Janine Faulkner is a phenomenal business owner and sister and good friend of mine through EWBi. And so visit her on her Etsy website, all social media at Grateful Life Creations. Next, we have our guest for today, Miss Melissa Harrell, and we're going to bring her on.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi, Melissa. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I am wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. So I know our audience is saying, who is Melissa Harrell Powell? Now, which name do you want to go by? Because I have all three on your flyer. Then I have Melissa Harrell on your bio. Get me straight. Which one are we going by today?
Um, I'm really hyphenated, so I do use Melissa Powell Harrell.
Okay,
Um,
good. So we're going to say Melissa Powell Harrell.
yeah,
Welcome to EWBi. It's such a pleasure to have you here today.
thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here with you. I'm grateful for the opportunity.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about Melissa. Who is Melissa?
Well, like you said, I'm Melissa Powell Harrell. I'm so used to using Melissa Powell, so sometimes you see it Melissa Powell, and then other times you see it hyphenated.
Listen, I definitely understand. I do it too. Sometimes it's Nicole Taylor, sometimes it's Nicole Mosby Taylor. It just go whatever the flow is.
Right.
So it's all right. Look, that's the good thing that we can do that. We had the autonomy to do
Yes,
that.
yes, we definitely can do that. And then my husband is not bothered by it. Melissa Powell Harrell. So she is a social worker. She is a minister of God. Um, and she is a businesswoman. So if you ask me to describe myself, I would describe myself as a phenomenal, virtuous woman who's who has her hands in a lot of things.
If you ask me to describe you, I would say she is a wonderful woman of God, phenomenal wife and mother. Um,
Yeah.
spiritually grounded and a wonderful entrepreneur and good sister in Christ.
Thank you.
Did that sum it up?
Yes, it does. Definitely a nice bio intro and uh, description of me. Thank you. Appreciate it.
So, Melissa, so you have your hands in so many different directions. Even before we go into all that you have going on, how do you do it? I know some business women listening, and maybe even some mothers who are trying to multitask, and they're like, "What in the world? How does she do it? How does anybody do it? What is the secret?"
Um, I by the grace of God, that's all I can say is by the grace of God. I just asked God, like, okay, God, what you want me to do next? So definitely by the grace of God, and I constantly remind myself, one thing at a time, one step at a time. So that's
Mm,
my saying that I say to myself daily. So that's what I do. You know, that's exactly what I do. Mhm.
awesome. So, and I'm sure putting God first helps too, right?
Yeah, you have to put God first, because I feel like without God, I couldn't do anything, and I am who I am and where I am, and it's all because of God. Um, I was a mess. I'm still a mess, but God is faithful. He is faithful. He is faithful. So I am where I am because of Him. Like it should have went another way, but because His grace, I am who I am and where I am today. If I didn't have Him part of my life, and if He didn't stop me from going down one path, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I know it's all glory belongs to God.
Yes, yes, yes. So speaking of that, you are a minister, right?
Yes, I am a
For
man.
a wonderful church. I think it's the best church on this side of heaven.
Yes, that's what they say. This side of heaven, walk by faith. Yes, I've been an associate minister for 15 years, and I just celebrated my anniversary on March 31st, which made 15 years for me preaching the gospel. Um, sometimes I didn't want to do it, but what God has for you is for you.
Come on now.
So I'm here. I quit a couple of times, but I got back up, and now I don't think nothing could stop me at this point.
Right. How about that?
Yeah,
So, and isn't it funny? We have the same favorite Bible verse.
yeah, that's a great verse, though.
It,
Let
it
you
it just
know.
speaks volumes to me. It doesn't matter if you're talking about in your personal life, in
Yeah,
your professional life, whether you're talking about relationships, whether you're talking about a but something dealing with your job. It
mhm,
doesn't matter what it is. It just speaks volumes because you can do all things. So that means there's nothing out here that can stop you
right.
is because you can do it through Christ who strengthens you. So that just is just so powerful to me.
Yeah, whatever the issue, whatever the problem, whatever the obstacle, yeah, it's nothing. I can do all things through Him. All things. It's a powerful affirmation. Actually, I think it is.
Yes, yes, yes. So now understanding that you went to Morgan, go Bears.
Yes, Morgan, definitely Morgan Bear all my life. The one college I wanted to go to school. I remember going, visiting colleges in high school, and I'm like, I want to go to Morgan. And I did and graduated. So I'm definitely Morgan. I love Morgan to death.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
So after Morgan, of course, you went on and pursued your master's, and now you are a licensed clinical social worker.
Yes, yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, with you being a licensed clinical social worker, what does that entail for people who may not know?
Um, I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I have a background in child welfare, working in foster care and adoption. Um, and I also have a background in mental health. So most of my career has been working in the two fields. So at the same time, pretty much. So, as a licensed clinical social worker, you can do a lot of different things. Um, you can work in a lot of different fields with those credentials. So, it also the LCSWC allows you to be do clinical work, such as the mental health portion, to be able to treat, assess, and diagnose people. So, and bill, you actually can bill insurance companies for treatment of the clients, individuals, families, and children.
So, do you do a certain specialty? I know certain people, tend to like to either work with married couples or with youth, or you know, or what is your targeted population?
I work with all age groups, so I don't have a particular age group. Um, I'm able to work with all particular age groups. I know some people specialize either in children or adults, but I work with children and adults. I work with people with post traumatic stress disorder, ADHD, bipolar, depression, schizophrenic. So, a lot of different groups, populations that I work with. Some of them are diagnosed, have more than one diagnosis, dual diagnosis. So, I pretty much run the whole gamut.
What
Yeah.
would you say is the most challenging for your position?
Um, I think I think one of the most challenging in the mental health field is dealing with people who need a lot of services, and as a clinician, you get a limited time to work with those clients. So you have to refer the individual for other services, such as like PRP and other supportive services to help clients get the needed services they need. So I think that can be challenges because when you see the need for the client, you want to make sure that they get it. Another issue that I see with the population I work with is housing. So housing is an issue across the city, and it's really an issue with people with who doesn't have a lot of income, a lot of resources, and sometimes people they're not able to advocate for themselves.
Right.
I have a lot of
Speak
clients.
to that a little bit because, I hear a lot of people, and people always say, I'm always making excuses for people. And I try to explain that it's not really an excuse when you have a mental condition that doesn't give you the capacity to think cognitively like someone who's not dealing with those mental health challenges. Then it's an impairment just like anything else. It impairs you to think the same way that someone who is able to think cognitively correct, cognitively the right way. Then
Yeah. I think sometimes, that sometimes when you deal with people with depression, that other people may not see the depression. They don't really understand how the person feels. And some tasks that we may see as just normal. You get up, you know, um, you bath, shower, get dressed, and go about your day and do whatever it is you have to do. For some people with depression, they have issues just getting out of bed. That's a major task. And some days they have trouble getting out of bed. So you may expect them to be able to get up, go, and handle this and handle that, and they may procrastinate. They need the extra support. They need the extra help just to do those daily activities, especially if their depression is severe. Or you may deal with people with anxiety who have anxiety attacks, and just walking around the block is major for them, where you have to get them to a point where you can build them up, or where they can get to the point where they can cross the street, especially after they experience some type of traumatic experience with driving or getting hit by a car. Um, those types of things where you have to get the client to the point where they can, where they can do those things. So,
okay, awesome. um so I'm just getting a message from our awesome producer,
no.
and and so that's why I am like double double tasking here. So it's so important for people to understand. So let's take the case of, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot,
Okay.
but what is your what how can I put this? So I've been watching the trial for George Floyd, and I've just been watching how stoic
Mm,
the defendant is, and how full of emotion just the witnesses reliving what
mm,
transpired.
yeah.
What do you think about that?
Um, I would, I probably was a person who didn't watch it right away.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because when you deal with traumatic events, when you watch it, it kind of you're re-traumatized. When you think about 9/11, some people who watched it over and over again, they were traumatized by all the events that happened. I think it's the same way with the George Floyd trial. I haven't watched it, and a lot of times I don't watch a lot. It took me um, a long time to watch that 8 minutes and 46-second video. It was painful for me watching it, and I know if being a witness, seeing it, and then you have to testify it,
And
and
it's almost like reliving it all over again, right?
it is. That's what they're experiencing. That's exactly what they are experiencing. So I know when we have a lot of events going on. Even with last year when we first went into everything was happening with the coronavirus. I know some people I work with was glued. They were glued to the TV screen. They were glued watching it and up every upcoming detail. And I had to tell people you need to step away from the TV because
What does
you
that
need
do
a
to
break.
like one's psyche when you watch something over and over and over? What do you in your professional opinion, what does that do to one's psyche when you do that?
You're reliving it, you're being re-traumatized. So that's my advice is not to do it. I try to give the clients other options, things that they can focus on, because we want to focus on healing. We don't want them to continue to relive that particular event. So that's that's what my recommendation is to avoid the trauma and not to relive it, but you want to get them to a point where they can heal.
That's right, to a
So
point where they can heal. So I just want to welcome our viewers on. We had some new viewers coming on. Make sure that you hit that share button, share to everyone, invite them on so that they can hear this powerful, phenomenal woman, Miss Melissa Powell Harrell, that's in our studio with us today. Um, Also, Nicole says, "Hi, ladies." And Cassandra said it was difficult for her to watch as well.
yeah.
It was really difficult for her to watch. But she said you're giving some good advice. And
Yeah.
I believe so too. It's so difficult because listen, just like if you listen to music all the time,
Yeah.
when you listen to that music and you're listening to um someone calling people names and talking in a negative tone, that is doing what? Can you tell us what is that doing to us?
What I say is, and what the Bible says is that what you feed your spirit, right? What you listen to, what you hear, it does something to your spirit, right? So you have to guard those things, guard your ears, guard what you hear, guard what you see. So I'm very conscious of that. Probably more than some people is I don't want to hear everything and I don't want to see everything. So I guard what I take in.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I guard the things that I listen to. I guard the things that I watch, and what I put in my spirit, because I want to put the right things in so you can get the right things out. Right things in, you get the right things out, so that my behavior, my mind, my thinking, um, and I'm real big on affirmations, which you already know, but affirmations are so important because you mentioned earlier, right? I can do all things through Christ. I need to have that in my mindset. So when I'm fearful, when I'm in pain, when I think I can't go anymore, I know I can do all things through him, because when I'm weak, he gives me strength.
Yes.
That's like something I live by. Like and just watching, what I say, because our words have power. We
Yes.
speak the
As
power
a
of
man
our mouth.
thinketh.
Yeah, that's my other favorite
Me
scripture.
too.
I love that one. When I learned that, I mean, it was like mind blowing. It's so simple, but like when I got that in my spirit, it was like, as a man thinketh, so is he. So if I'm
Yeah.
thinking those negative things about myself, um,
Then
that's
I'm gonna bring
who
it
I
out
am.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
So
if I think positive and I encourage and I empower myself and everyone around me, then what's gonna happen?
yes.
Ooh,
Yeah.
what a world this
Yeah.
would be. So
Right.
pleasing to God.
Right. Right. So yeah.
Because if you think, Will Smith said a quote, and basically his quote said something to the effect of, if I think I'm gonna fail, then I'm gonna fail.
Yeah.
And that's so true. So if you're already thinking you're going to fail, you're putting it in the atmosphere. Like I know that I know what God has in store for me. So I know what I'm speaking over my life, over my business life. I already know it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time.
Right.
So it doesn't matter what other people tell me. Some people may say you need to go do this and get this job because this job is going to bring you a solid paycheck. And I'm like, no, I'm a full-time entrepreneur. I know what's going to bring me my paycheck. And
Right.
it's not no job. And it's not even my entrepreneurship. It's God. God's
Yeah.
going to make sure that, but of course you got to put forth the work.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
got to put forth the work.
Yeah, I think Will Smith was onto something, and I am who I am. And I think the Bible gives us that when we see God way back in Genesis speaking over creation, like He spoke and things happen. Just like He has that power, He has given us that power. So that's why our words matter. What we speak about ourselves matter. I think Will Smith figured that out. He didn't say the Bible says. He said, he quoted it, right? So yeah, that's what the word tells us. That's what he said, and that's what happens. We manifest stuff by the words we speak. So when you want to know what you're manifesting, what are you speaking? Like,
That's
what are you
right.
saying to yourself? So yeah.
Janine Faulkner said, Amen.
Yes, Janine. Yes, words
And
matter.
look, words matter. Yes, Cassandra Ferguson said words matter. And it's so important. I was reading this book by Cindy Trum that I love. And she actually wrote a couple of them. And just because I'm bringing it up now, I can see the cover and I can't think of the name of the book. But she did a lot of talking about what we think, and
Yeah,
like you said, and what we allow to come into our psyche,
yeah,
and just how that manifests, with us every day. And I don't think people talk about it enough.
yeah. I think the Bible talks about it. I also say, as a social worker, um, we a lot of people use practices what they call cognitive behavior uh,
Therapy.
therapy, right?
Hmm.
CBT. um,
Hmm.
is that your thoughts, like when you oh, she said commanding your,
Command Your Mornings. Yes, that's the
that's
name
a
of it.
phenomenal book. Yeah.
Yes, I
She
love it.
is-
I would recommend it to anybody. To
yeah,
anybody.
Cindy Truman, she is a praying woman. She's a
Yes.
praying woman.
And
She's known for prayer.
Daryl Wharton said, we determine our outcomes. Yes, we do.
But what I was just saying is like, spiritually we would say that, like, in the mental health profession, what you think, like, uh you that some people have distorted thinking, and then you would teach people cognitive behavior techniques to help change the way they think, right? Because something is off with their thinking. If you change people thinking, they will have different outcomes.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
I definitely subscribe to CBT, as well as I love the strengths perspective,
Yes.
meeting a person where they are,
Yeah.
and taking them from that point and helping them to get to where they need to be.
Yeah.
It's just empowering them with the tools that they need to get there.
Right, right. And it's definitely you focus on strengths and not weakness. Or some
Right.
or something that's just as simple as like what sayings that your grandma or your grandmother said is that what you get more honey with bees, the way you treat people. You look at the positive aspect and then you help them in that area and they want to show you more positive or you think about children who's acting up in school. How do you get them to change their behavior? You focus on positive reinforcement versus the negative reinforcement. A lot of times you get more what they say honey with bees that way.
Yes, how about that? How about that? So we are going to so I see we have a message from your husband, and your husband said, that's my wonderful wife. So he is watching
Okay,
proudly.
okay. I'm glad he was able to get on because I think I sent the wrong link out.
Oh,
So
it's okay. He is on, and he is watching, and I understand that your daughter is tuned in as well. So
yeah.
that is awesome. It's nothing like having family support. And my husband said I'm on too. So
Yeah,
we got our bases covered, and I know my daughters are watching as well. So
yeah, yeah. God bless me
so
with a good man. He know I
listen,
needed a supportive one.
yes, it's nothing like it. Nothing like it. So listen, we're going to take a quick break. So stay tuned to Empower Women in Business International Radio. Welcome back to Empowered Women in Business International Radio. Welcome back, Melissa.
Thank you, thank you. Happy to be back.
I told you that was going to be a quick break, right?
Yeah, it was quick.
We just want everyone to know a little bit about EWBi and how they can become members. So you saw a picture of some of our members, and a shoot that we had. Oh, Damon says her husband isn't doing. Oh, isn't outdoing me. You are even more wonderful.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Mr. Taylor. That's a good husband right there.
Oh, thank you. And yes, they sound like both are keepers.
Yeah.
So, do you ever, speaking of husbands, do you ever find it difficult trying to manage, home life along with being an entrepreneur?
Um, it's definitely a juggling act. Um, I'm getting better with my time and how I spend my time. I know without my husband, I wouldn't be able to do half of what I do because he allows me to be me. He allows me to do what God has given me to do. Um, yeah, but it's definitely a balancing act, and you have to realize what's important to you, what your priorities are, and put them first. So that's what I try to do. For me, family is important. Spending time with family, my immediate family, which my husband, my children, and my extended family, my aunts, uncles, my sister, my nieces, my nephew. So I just try to plan that and make sure I put those things first. That's important to me.
Yes. And
Yeah.
Elder Hawkins said, love rocks. So,
Yes.
and it's so important to, be able to have a good supportive family. And then you mentioned other family members too, which can kind of, add on to, it's a good thing, but it can be it can be difficult to try to find that fine balance, because not only do you have to be good for yourself, but then you also have to I'm sorry, I'm saying that backwards. Not only do you have to be good for your family, but then you got to find that self-care for yourself as well.
Yes, true, true. So I love to vacation. So
Okay, that's what
so
you
that's
like.
yeah, that's one of my self-care acts, vacation. And I
So
try
let
to
me
take
ask
a
you
lot
this:
of
with Corona, what did you do when you couldn't go on those vacations?
it. Let me tell you, 2020, I thought 2020 gonna be my best year for vacation. I planned 7 vacations. Um, and initially, mostly everything I planned got canceled. I was planning to take my first trip to Africa, which I never been to Africa. Um,
Wow.
I had 2 trips to Ohio. I took the first one in January, and then I had another one in August that was canceled. I had a trip to Cancun in June that was canceled. I had a boat cruise in August with my family that was canceled. Um, and then I just planned the trip. That wasn't the 6 of the trips were canceled, but as towards the end of the year, I did plan 2 trips, and I went on to 2 trips. One in the end of September, then I went another one in November. So I just try to be cautious, but um, I think life is short, so I don't want to spend my life in fear. So
Mm.
I took the trips because people were dying all year. Family members, I work with, people I know, other people knew. It was constant, and I started the year off sick in January, where I was sick. Um,
I remember that for a little while,
yeah,
couple weeks or
yeah,
more.
I was sick. I close to dying. I didn't realize how close I was to dying. Um, I had an infection in my body that only 1 out of 3 people survive. Um,
Mm. And
my
look at God. He
yeah,
chose you.
yeah, he healed me. I mean, it's no other explanation for it. My I had issues with kidney. Never had kidney issues before. My kidneys, they couldn't was out of control. They couldn't get my numbers right. Blood pressure out of whack. Couldn't get the number right. Diabetes out of whack. Couldn't They just couldn't get anything right. My white blood cells were just like over the roof, and I never had a kidney issue problem with my kidneys before. So I didn't know if I was going to come out, or if I was going to be on dialysis, or what was going to happen. But I had 2 surgeries while I was there, um, and the numbers were still off. But eventually, it came down and it got better. They released me. I came home uh, to a nurse, and God just healed me.
Praise God.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was.
That's
It
a
was good.
testimony right there.
Yeah.
That's a testimony.
So my 2020 started off rough, but it was a blessing in so many ways. And when I got to the end of the year, I'm like, well, I had planned I wanted to go to Vegas for my birthday, which was in January, and of course I was hospitalized and came home on my birthday actually, and
Wow.
so when the end of the year came, I said I'm taking this trip.
I know that's right. And you enjoyed it too, didn't you?
I did. And then I enjoyed it so much. I said, I took a trip with my girlfriends. Then I took one with my husband. And then that trip I planned in 2020 to Vegas, I took it January 2021 for my birthday. So this year I was able to celebrate. So God is faithful. Yeah.
Yes. They said, praise God. God is a healer.
Yes, he is.
God's healing power. And thank you, Lord. Yes, yes, yes.
Mm.
So man, that I'm kind of like at a loss for words, because you just went through so much in January to just come out a conqueror and looking like you never been touched. That's what I'm talking about. That's God.
It's
I,
good. I mean, it's
if
just
I could sing, I would break down that song right now.
but you know what? It's so much like I really could tell you because I said I'm an entrepreneur. I'm in business, and the business I work in is like if you don't work, you don't eat. Um, it was so much, but he sustained the business. The business kept running. It didn't fall by the wayside. And it was a couple months where we didn't have any income, and not because we wasn't working. There was a lot of shifts with insurance companies. Within the state. So we missed a couple payments, and I was sick too on top of it. But God sustained us. Not only did He sustain us, we thrived. You know,
Mm.
but He's
Well, your husband says, "This is my role as a husband. When you love someone, you support them and help them reach their goals. That's a true expression of love."
yeah, yeah. That's true.
Yes.
That's true.
So we've heard about you a little personal.
Yeah,
We heard about your mental health business. And so let's talk about some of your community service work, because you are always doing something in the community. And even when I sent out about the suitcase drive, I remember all of a sudden, um, I'm in church one day and someone rolls up on me with this huge suitcase, and inside the suitcase had another suitcase and another suitcase. And I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Like, you just always, like, how do you even keep all of your community service work together? Because you have so many hats that you're wearing. How can you just, you must have a packed calendar. You must have that calendar on lock, because you had to follow it strictly to make sure that you just don't, overlook anything, because you're always, I turn around when we're doing community service work at church, and there you are. I turn around, you preaching here. I mean, just phenomenal. Like, how do you, how do you keep it, straight?
I try. I try. Outreach is my passion, so I always dedicate a certain amount of time to outreach. I believe in helping others and try to give people an upper hand, or whatever situation they're in. I just love outreach. I'm used to working, feeding people weekly and making sure they have food. Haven't been doing that so much because of coronavirus, but
Mhm.
I do work with a large homeless population, so I still do go feed the homeless and try to give food whenever I can. I just think God calls us to so much more, and I just try not to limit what God says I can do, and the things that He wants for His people. Those things are important to me. So I just try to just do my part, or just what I can. Like I told you, I worked in foster care for a long time. Um, so it's definitely my passion, my heart. I kind of work on the adoption end now. So I would have loved to been at the suitcase drop, because if anybody know, I can remember back in the day, I used to be a foster care worker. I'm now a manager, so and I've been a manager for a number of years. But I remember, being a worker and moving children with trash bags.
Mhm.
And when we get to the point where we can give them luggage and stuff like that, so I think they need it, they deserve it. So that's definitely, I would have been there, but I think I had another obligation that particular
But
day.
that's okay, because you still made sure you turned in that suitcase.
Yeah. So
And we were
foster
so
care.
appreciative
Yeah.
for it. As a matter of fact, like you said something, you said that the trash bag. I think that was the thing. So I worked at a foster care agency, and when I saw one of the children trying to juggle this trash bag, and the trash bag had holes in it, so some of the items was trying to slip out through the holes, and they're trying to put their hand just so the items wouldn't come out of this bag. And I thought about it, and I thought about the message that we were sending to the child. If we're allowing them to carry their stuff in a trash bag, then we're telling them that their stuff is equivalent to trash, right? Because that's what belongs in the trash bag.
Right.
And so one of my board members came to me and said, Nicole, I want to do a suitcase drive. And I'm like, what is a suitcase drive? She said, I want to be able to, bless some foster care children with suitcases. And I said, oh my gosh, that's a great idea. And so we took the idea and running, and we're working on our 4th year this year.
Awesome. It's
Yeah.
amazing. I love it. I love it. So whenever you need me, just know I got some suitcases for you.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much. And then you'd be surprised. Some people try to send, some things that aren't necessarily, let me just say, if it's not going home, if it wouldn't go home to my children, it's not going home to nobody else's child either.
Right,
And
right.
I'm picky about mine. So I'm going to be picky about everybody else's.
Right. You just don't give them anything, something
Yes.
valuable.
That's it right there. You don't. And if you want something nice, then they want something nice too. And that's how you teach people how to take care of things, by
Yeah.
giving them and teaching them. Because if you don't never have anything nice, then how can you ever know how to take care of something?
Right.
Even with your neighborhood, if somebody doesn't teach you not to throw down that trash outside of your house, and all you see is people throwing trash as they walk, whether it's home from school, adults out their car, whatever, what are you going to do? That
Yeah.
learned behavior, right?
That's what it is. That's what it is. Learned behavior. Yeah.
So we talked about you doing your we talked about you in church, we talked about your ministry. Did we miss any other good stuff about Melissa?
Um, well, Melissa has a book that recently was published.
Yes. Do you have your book with you?
I don't have it with me. No, I don't have it. I'm
Well, share
actually
the name of it. Tell us the name and just tell us a little bit about your book.
sure. I am a newly published author. I am one. I'm a co-author on a book called 365 Days of Positive Affirmation. It is called Soulful Affirmation. So literally 365 days of positive thoughts, and affirmations that you can say over yourself and over your life. So when I say I'm big on affirmation, I am. And this was just like a God sent project that just fit right in with everything that I was already doing. So it's a wonderful, wonderful book. And I'm not just saying that because I'm one of the co authors, but it really will change your life the way you think. Because our thoughts matter, as one of your callers said earlier. What we think about ourselves matters. What we say to ourselves matters. Like our words have power. To change our life, and we manifest stuff in our life by the words we speak over ourselves. So this book will help change the way people think, it
Mm.
will help change the way they speak, and it will help change their life.
So say the name of that book again, and then tell them where they can get it, because some people probably say, I need to go get this book tomorrow.
Yeah, it's called Soulful Affirmations, and I have it. I have it. We still pre-sale, so you can get it through. You can pay through PayPal. I have Cash App. My book authors page. So I don't know if I can post any links, but I do have them.
You can go and post the link, and you can put it in our private chat, and our producer will put it on the page so people can see as well.
Oh, good. And I can have two books if anybody, I guess, if anybody, maybe the first two to respond that they want the book that I can give. One of my co-author, Angela Thomas, is giving away a book, and then I myself will give away one. So we can give away 2 free books tonight.
Awesome.
Anybody who wants some 365 days of positive thoughts, soulful affirmation. I also have a second book out. It's called Poems from the Heart. And that book, you can just Google my name, is available on Amazon and Kindle. So,
And how about that? So she came on the show giving away books. We're not going to forget Melissa. So the next person that put in our chat that they want the book
yeah.
will get the book. So we have 2 books to give away.
Yes, 2 books to give away. 2 books from Soulful Affirmation, and I also can give away
Elder Tamara
Poems from the
Hawkins.
Heart. If
Oh,
anybody want one of the books from Poems from the Heart, I'll give away one of them as well. So 3.
awesome. So we have Elder Hawkins and Nicole Jones. Congratulations, you both won the affirmation book, and then we have one more book to give away. Now, tell us tell us the name of that book, and tell us a little bit about the second book, because your husband said actually 2 books.
Yeah.
He on it.
I've really been promoting soulful affirmation, but the second book is a book of poetry. It is called Poems from the Heart by myself. I'm a single author on that particular book, which is available on Amazon and Kindle. So it's just a book of poetry, just about different poems from the heart. So
Oh wow! So tell us, do you have any of the poems memorized?
no, I
Okay.
should. Look, next
No,
time I
listen.
will.
Let me tell you, when you have so much going on, I know people look at me reading my opening every day, but guess what? I have to read it because if I don't, I'm gonna forget some part of it because I have so much going on in this brain that is sometimes on overload. So sometimes you can't remember everything, and it's okay.
But I
As long
can't.
as you don't forget the important things, right?
Right. I can tell you that the book involves poems of love, poems about Black men, positive poems about Black men, and poems about God. So it's a good book. It's a
Uh,
short read, a good book, and it's called Poems from the Heart.
so, what do you like to do on your downtime?
Nothing. Sometimes I just like a good day is a good rainy day. I sit back with a good book or watch movies. That's a good day. I love to travel. Traveling is my other thing that I love to do. I love to read. I've been reading forever. So curling up with a good book, spending time with my family, uh, joking, sitting around eating. I'm a real comedian fan. I love comedy. So most people, most people don't think it, but I love comedy. I just love to sit around and laugh and joke, and just watch other people laugh and joke and have a good time with my family.
Well, you as a therapist, can you speak to that? Why is it so important for us to joke around and just laugh and have a good time?
Like I think laughter is good medicine. And another practice that is a spiritual practice. The one thing that I didn't mention is that I'm currently in school working on a doctorate, and my program is working on healing, and I'm combining social work methods and biblical practices to promote healing in individual. Because a lot of times you find people with the same issue, they're still dealing with the same issue and problem. They've been in therapy 10 years and nothing's changed. So I want to combine biblical practice and social work methods to promote healing in individuals. And I
Mm.
said that because a spiritual practice, gratitude. So much research has been done on gratitude and the power of just being grateful. Um, like I think 2020 should have taught us a lot of lessons. Like some things just didn't matter in 2020. Like I think I spent more time home 2020, more times with my family, just being grateful for the little things. So that practice of gratitude is good. And just being thankful. I was just so thankful, being home.
Yes.
I was still getting paid. We had food. We wasn't
You
worried.
know,
I wasn't worried about anything. I know a lot of people struggled, but like I said, I started off the year where God just gave me a lot of rest. I was rest because I was sick, and then right after the sickness, we went into the coronavirus, and I still was home. So I spent a lot of time working from home, just relaxing. You know, the first month, I didn't know what to do with myself. Like, I binge watch everything on Netflix. Like, I had so much time, I just didn't know what to do with it, and I was anxious to get back to work. And then when I got back to work, I was like, oh, I don't know if I really want to be here. And then we were out with the coronavirus in March. So, but I just love, like I said, laughter is good for the soul. It's good for healing. I love to sit around, laugh, eat some good food, play cards with my family, or just watch TV. So that's a good day for me. I'm old. I don't need much to be happy these days. So
How about that? Isn't that a blessing? I was going to say that you started on Facebook. I think it was 30 days of gratefulness, and
yeah,
you just asked people to put what they were grateful for, and just me typing it in gave me a heightened sense of gratitude.
yeah,
You know, where I just felt myself like really ready to shout some days, to just thank God for all that He has done for me and my family and my friends, and just, just in general. And I just didn't realize how powerful just typing or writing or just thinking or having that discussion about what you are grateful for
yeah,
could do for you.
yeah.
So I just wanted to share you did a great thing by doing that, because it just gave me that extra level of gratitude. And not that I'm not, grateful for all the things that God has done for me and my family, but like I said, it was just heightened just to type it in, on Facebook and share with others. I was just,
Yeah.
it really blew me away.
Yeah, I plan on doing it again, but I think the power of gratitude is healing. It's healing. Like, it's good for people who've been through a lot of trauma, because what it does is it focuses your attention on being grateful instead of complaining. To look
Mm.
at the positive things, to look at what's going right. When in general, we tend to be negative to society. We focus on what's not going right, what's wrong. But when you focus on gratitude, it rewires your brain the way you think. So,
Mm.
that's I do plan on doing 90 days again of gratitude. So it will be something that we be doing soon. So
Well, I look forward to doing it.
yes.
So, so tell the folks, maybe somebody is listening and they say, listen, I need a mental health therapist like Melissa, because she says that she's combining the spiritual along with the theoretical, which is going to make it even more impactful for me. How can they get in contact with you?
You can get contact with me. I work for and I own actually a business called Transforming Lives Counseling Service. We are located 1900 East Northern Parkway, Suite T5. I can be reached by phone. I'm also on Psychology Today. You can reach me that way, and we're also on Facebook. So our telephone number is 410-645 1000. You can reach us. We're normally in the office Monday through Friday from 8 to 5. So, and then I can post my information and also the book, the winners of the book. So if anybody want that third book, just type I want it, and we'll make sure you get it. First
Hey,
come,
tell
first
us that
serve.
third book's name again. And somebody asked, I think it was Elder Hawkins said, what does the cover look like of the poem book?
It's a pink, red, and black book, and it should have my name on it. Uh, Poems
All
from.
right, so who wants that last poem book? We have a poem book for someone who gets to come and watch a show, and then you go home with Destiny says, my daughter Destiny, she says, I want it.
Okay,
So
that's
we have our winners. So congratulations, Elder Hawkins, Nicole Jones, and Destiny Bright. You all walked away with a book. Awesome.
and
Awesome. Awesome.
awesome. Okay, great,
So,
great, great.
what do you want to leave the folks at home with this evening, Melissa? Anything you want to share or say before we close?
Um, well, I'm grateful for everybody that tuned in. Hopefully, you heard something or you got a thought as you were listening about something you want to change, implement in your life. There's power in our words, what we speak, what we say to each other. I would encourage you to get Soulful Affirmation. Is a very amazing book. Is amazing. It's amazing. It will change your life and how you think. So on that, I'm going to end on that. Thank you so
Okay.
much for allowing me to be part of the show tonight.
Oh, thank you for coming on and dropping all of those great gems so that people could learn a little bit more about mental health and who Melissa Powell Harrell is and the items that she sells and the church that she preaches at and does an amazing job. So and all your great work. So thank you for being on the show this evening. Thank you all for tuning in. Next week, our guest is LaQuisha Hall. And LaQuisha is going to be talking about sexual assault.
Oh,
So we'll have her on for I believe this is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And so don't forget to visit EWBi. Our website is www.ewbiradio.org. Check us out on social media. Our Facebook, Empowered Women in Business International. IG is EWB_INTL. If you are seeking a service or a product, check us out online. We have an online directory with all of our members and their services and products. So go to that website, www.ewbiradio.org. Go to our membership directory, and it will list all of our members and the products that they serve. Tune in every Tuesday at 7 o'clock right here on Empower Women in Business International Radio Show on our Elevate Your Life Talk radio station. And last, I leave you with individually, you could do great things, but collectively, we could forever change the world by Nick Mosby. Have a wonderful weekend, a wonderful week, and don't forget to keep it locked right here next Tuesday at 7 p.m. on Empowered Women in Business International Radio.
yes.